Today I am talking to Vladlen. How are you?
Hi, Lucas. I'm good. Actually, I'm very excited about the first podcast in my life.
Oh, nice. Um, yeah, welcome. I'm very excited to talk to you. And
Great.
can you introduce yourself a little bit and the game that you released recently?
Sure. I'm from Russia originally. My name is Vlad, or full name is Vladlen, which actually goes after Vladimir Lenin.
Hmm.
I was born still in Soviet Union, so my grandmother picked that name. At that time Lenin was quite popular.
Hmm.
Uh, and now I live in Thailand for about 3 years already. When this global situation in Russia started to be really bad, I just moved out because I'm a peaceful man.
Hmm.
And now I live in Thailand, in Phuket, and I'm actually enjoying my life very much here. And it's a beautiful place. Have you been to Phuket, Thailand?
No, I haven't been to Asia at all, but it seems very beautiful. I've looked at some photos, yeah.
Yeah, it's really great. A great temperature, warm all around the year, great beaches, great sea, nice Russian community. Actually, a lot of people moved from Russia here.
Hmm.
Now we have great community here, so the life here is amazing.
Yeah, that's very nice. Well, I live in Brazil, so we have some nice beaches and nice weather here as well. I live in the south of Brazil, so the weather is not so great here. That it's winter now and it's pretty cold, but nothing like the Russian winter.
Yeah, it doesn't get minus degrees for you in
No,
your
no,
area.
yeah,
No, no snow.
no, no snow.
Okay.
So, tell me a little bit about the Four Divine Abidings.
Oh yeah, actually it was quite a journey. I'm now around 40 years old, and I was dreaming to develop my own computer game since school years. So it's been like 20 years or more that I tried, made something, but then abandoned it. And this game is actually my first release. It took me about 1 year to develop, but when I started to do it, I left all my other things, like no job, like almost no entertainment, and I just did it from morning to the evening
Hmm.
for the whole year. And it was quite a journey. I actually learned about myself a lot and about Buddhist practices and mindfulness practices, which are incorporated into the game. I've been practicing myself for about 9 years or 10 years, speaking about meditation and following some some core Buddhist principles for the last 2 years.
Hmm.
But when I started to make a game, I really needed to learn deep about these things to represent it well. So that's where my personal learning actually happened in this year. I learned more than in previous 9 years of my practice.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so my aim for this game was to make a game which would be helpful for players in some way. Specifically, that would create a nice mindset, like calm, peaceful, creative, focused on positive things.
Hmm.
All the gaming these days, like most of the games are focused on destruction or violence or competition.
Hmm.
And it actually creates it's good to a point as an entertainment, but it actually creates like this mindset where people then usually feel competitive or offensive in real life. For example, if I go to a computer club to play Counter-Strike, I saw people reactions. They are like yelling on each other, behaving really in aggressive way. So I thought that modern gaming isn't quite healthy for the mind.
Hmm.
So I decided to make this unique gaming experience, which actually blended gaming and mindfulness practices. And the game itself is quite simple. It's like of idle and incremental genre. It's easy to get into, but the beauty of this game is that is how it interacts with the mind of the players. So I think, according to reviews that I get from players, I think the goal was achieved and players actually feel relaxed and peaceful and they are enjoying this experience. And I also got some feedback from players that they discovered these Buddha teachings. And in Buddhism, this called dharma touch. Dharma touch, like first touch of people with that dharma, with the teaching. And it's very important moment in like many people following Buddhism when they first learn about it and how it was represented.
Yeah, that's very cool. So this is how players are discovering. Did you say like karma touch, like touching for the first time? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Or?
yeah. Karma, like karma is a teaching, like karma, yes.
Yeah.
And touch, yes, like touching for the first time. Yeah, right.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, very cool. I guess what I wanted to say a little bit earlier when you were saying, oh, when I made this game is when I really learned deeply about the subject. And there's something that people say about that. If you want to really learn something, try teaching it, because when you try teaching something, or I guess portraying it in a game is similar, that's when you really need to understand it deeply, right?
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. As far as I know, you worked as a teacher, so I think you know about teaching quite a lot, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually wanted to go back to your life before making this game and try to understand what led to this moment. So,
Yeah.
can you say why you had this? I don't know if it was like a childhood dream of making a game someday, and where that came from.
Yeah, it was a childhood dream. Yeah, I started playing really early, like maybe in 6 or 7 years. We had this like small, very small handheld consoles in Russia, made in Russia. I don't even know if they were internationally available, but the closest thing I can name is Game Boy or Game Boy Advance. You know, these handhelds.
Yeah.
They were quite popular maybe 25 years ago or 30 years ago. And that's how I started gaming. So then I switched to 8-bit games, then 16-bit games like Dandy and Sega. And actually I was gaming almost all my free time. So I was hooked from the childhood. And then after some time when I went to school, so people programming on the computer, it was, I remember this quite clearly, it was in the 9th grade. So it was my 8th year of studying in the school. And I saw people programming and I immediately was charmed by it. And I came home and installed BASIC, this like very simple programming language that was popular in that time among scholars to learn basic programming. And instead of gaming, I now started programming from the morning to evening. It was so exciting for me, and I tried to do like really simple things like draw a snowman or draw a house or make a rectangle move. And like these simple things, then you do it in a really young age. I got very impressive about it. I got very excited about it. So it was fascinating for me. And I couldn't stop coding. So I coded from morning to evening. And even during summer holidays, when I came to my grandma village, I took uh, a pen and a paper and I just coded on paper for 3 months. Yeah, I just coded a game on paper. Then I came from the village to my hometown and I just put it into a programming language, into BASIC, and just debugged something. I did something and enjoyed the result, enjoyed the experience. So
Yeah.
I was dreaming to make a game my whole life. But then things that started to change. My school years were over, and I still only knew like basic and this really basic programming language, and maybe a little of Pascal. So I didn't have enough knowledge to make a game. And then I went to university. I studied programming as well. And during university years, this was just there were too many other interests in my life. So I just shadowed some these programming dreams and just proceed with the life in some other ways. And then after university, I started my startup. I actually had 2 startups before I started to make this Four Divine Abidings game, or even 3 startups. And I was consumed by it, so I was basically busy from morning to evening working on these startups. And I didn't get much free time.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about those startups?
Yeah, sure. The 2 last startups were connected to cryptocurrency and trading. Actually, it's when I realized that this businesses focused on money don't bring lasting satisfaction, or they don't bring happiness. I was able to make money. I was able to afford quite a good living, but it didn't contribute to society. It didn't contribute to like my childhood dreams. So it was only like switching time for money. It was okay as a job, and also interesting as an experience, because when you're making your startup, you still need to learn a lot, to communicate with many different people, and to get the life better. But in the end of the day, I realized this first noble truth from Buddhism, that the suffering or unsatisfactory nature of life is present everywhere. So even when I had like some money, I had some stable job, I had a company running, I still wasn't quite happy about the state of my life as general.
Did you frame it as a Buddhist insight at this point, or was that a later thing?
Yeah, it was a later thing. At that point, I just was in this, rat race or wheel, and I just wasn't able to look from outside. I just was, from morning to evening, just doing this routine stuff, and like living like normal life, like with normal pleasure, like going to clubs, drinking alcohol, socializing, and traveling, and these just completely normal things. Yeah, but only later I realized that no matter how much money I have, or how often I travel, or what substances I use, I realized that it didn't bring lasting happiness or profound happiness, because a key piece of information was missing. And this key piece of information was a fundamental understanding of life. I think in order to build a happy life, a person should have some fundamental principles to build this life upon. And we don't get these principles from school or from university. Actually, we should learn it ourselves. Otherwise, we won't be able to build our lives on solid foundation.
So you just felt generally unhappy or empty, or something was lacking in your life, but you didn't know exactly what it was.
Yeah, and when I tried to look for what it was, I saw that I have had a lot of material things. I had a lot of pleasure, but I still was feeling empty. I still was. I still felt that there is no purpose in all these things.
Yeah.
That's when I started to look into mindfulness practices and the meditation and the yoga. And
how did that happen? Like, did you Google it? Did somebody introduce it to you, or what?
Yeah, Actually, it happened gradually and slowly. I first started to look at my state, and I saw it as some unpleasant state, and I started asking myself questions how to improve it. First, I started with some traditional literature like practical psychology, maybe Dale Carnegie, and some other classic practical psychologists, and I saw that actually worked for some extent, but all these techniques were dealing with symptoms. They improved your mood for a while, or they could improve your communication with people, or could improve your sleep, or some just symptoms, but they were not dealing with fundamental issues in life. And these fundamental issues are about reducing general stress and suffering and happiness and bringing happiness. Yeah. So that's when I discovered Buddhism. Actually, Buddhism is directly about reducing suffering and increasing happiness, and it does it on a fundamental level by providing answers to most fundamental questions. And then it's up to a person what to do with these answers.
Okay, and what kind of Buddhist material did you consume at this point? Did you read a commentary, or what was that like?
I started with some podcasts, like some basic things on YouTube, and then I had a Buddhist friend who also advised me on some concepts. And actually, at first, I wasn't very optimistic about it, because there were so many questions about how all these things work. What should I believe in all of this, like things like karma, or things like reincarnation, or things like God realm, hell realm, or like devil realm. Why should I even believe in this, right? But then, after some years, I arrived here in Thailand, and Buddhism is really popular in Thailand. And what I immediately saw, that compared to Russia, people here are much more happier. They are much more poorer, like financially, but they are much more happier. And everywhere I went here, I saw people smiling. I saw people like behaving in a way that wasn't at that time, that I didn't understand how they had so little material possessions. They had very hard jobs, but they still were able to be much happier than most people in Russia. And then I just asked myself, how is that possible? And then I started digging into it. I discovered that Buddhism plays a huge role here in Thailand, and actually Thai Buddhism is very respected in the world, especially Thai forest tradition. So I found one book from a Thai monk, a very reputable one, and it is really huge book. It's like 5,000 pages long. So I started it. I found it. I started reading, and it took me the whole year to read for the first time. It was really difficult, but as I was reading, I started to find answers to all fundamental questions I had, like the meaning of life, like where it came from, where we came from, where will we go, how to relate to different things in life, what is the moral compass in life, and what matters, what doesn't matter, and it all made a really big influence on me.
Yeah. So what was that book?
The book called Buddha Dhamma. Buddha Dhamma, yeah, it's like usual name, nothing special. I think it's not the only book with such a name, but actually it's available for free on the internet.
Who's the author? Or
the author, I know him by English nickname, and it's Payuto. Actually, I will write in Discord, so you can maybe put it on YouTube.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's really great book, and this single book I think changed my life the most.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to link to that if anybody wants to read it. So this was a few years before you started making the game, right?
Yeah, actually, I made the game the last year and finished reading the book before the last year. So these events were really connected. As soon as I finished reading,
Mm.
I decided to make some fundamental changes in my life. It's when I quit business completely and started to make a game. I just needed this shift because like reading about things in the book and practicing these things in life, it's like completely different. Intellectual understanding should be transformed into experience. So when I finished reading, I started to slowly transform my new knowledge into experience. And it's when I started to think how to make a game that would incorporate some core principles from this book. And it was maybe third or fourth attempt, because like my first prototypes, I just started writing the documentation, and so no, it will be boring for so many players, so it will be too difficult to code, or it will be not representing Buddhism and mindfulness practices well. But I think on the fifth attempt or on the fourth attempt, I wrote a document that I really liked, and I just started working on it. I didn't have game coding experience before, but I knew some programming languages like C++, like basic, like Pascal. So I just started to learn how to make a game. And then I discovered Godot game engine. I think I chose it over Unity because people claim it was so much easier to work in Godot, and it was really good for beginners. And it has its own script language called GD script, which is really like Python, and I had some experience with Python. So I just started learning. It's like started watching YouTube videos, like reading some forums, and slowly, day by day, step by step, started to make this game. And actually it progressed quite well. But I think it was because of a dedication. I work on the game. Like I could start early in the morning, could finish late in the evening. You know, it's easy to work on a game when you don't have a job and other things to do. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like you were fully dedicated to this project.
Yeah.
Um, you said it took about a year to make the game, but does that include also these prototypes and learning Godot and all of that, or not?
1 year for this specific project, and about 4 more months or 5 more months for prototypes we didn't make through.
I see.
And yes, I learned Godot in the process.
Yeah.
Coding this game.
Very nice. So where do you know where the idea to make a game came from after reading the book? Because I mean, you could have read the book and decided, oh, I want to become a Buddhist monk or something like that. But instead, you decided, oh, I want to make a Buddhist game. Why?
Yeah, it's really difficult to pinpoint. It's really difficult. One of the characteristics that I learned from the book is that our reality and we ourselves all consist. We all consist from different processes, and it's really tough to pinpoint. Sometimes it's really tough to pinpoint one particular decision to a single process.
Yeah.
So I think it was it was many factors, like my my childhood dream of making a game like that. I needed to somehow apply the knowledge that I learned from the book, and I also wanted to share some of this knowledge because I saw how profound they were. So I think there were many factors, and I just didn't find anything better than making a game.
Yeah. And it is in the genre of idle games, or I don't know what you might call that, like clicker games. People call them different
Yeah.
things. Were the other prototypes also in this genre, or did you pick this one later? How was that decision?
Yeah, as I had some experience with software development, I already knew that I need to set some realistic scope of the potential game. So I chose this genre, which is one of the easiest from technical point of view to implement. Yeah, so all prototypes were also like with simple core mechanics using 2D graphics, and my main task was to stay focused on integrating Buddhist teachings and mindfulness practices in the simplest way possible. So that's why I sticked with clicker and idle genre.
Is that a genre that you play games? Like, have you played other clicker games?
Yeah, I used to play them a lot, especially they are popular on mobiles now.
Hmm.
And, but there is a problem with these games. They sometimes are very addictive. And if you know these mobile games nowadays, they usually have these predatory monetization policies where you can invest like so much money into a single game.
Yeah.
And they, yeah. So it was a thing to consider because making a game in this genre already gave me some kind of reputation. Then when I presented first prototypes on the internet to the strangers, they reacted. Many of them reacted to this game like it didn't fit, and yeah, because it was too calm, too relaxing to this clicker genre. Because in most games you just click non-stop, and people use auto clickers or set up some macros or even write programs to click as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And in my game, you can't click like faster than a couple times per second because there are like mandatory timeouts.
Mm-hmm.
So from these strangers, I get some bad reviews, and actually, I wasn't sure how to proceed for some time. But then I got 2 or 3 reviews from early players that actually saw the real value of this game, which I tried to communicate, and they connected with Buddhist lore, with like slow game play loop, and it really motivated me to move on. And then I improved some core game mechanics to appeal to broader audience as well. Like I added optional 2x speed. So if some players want to click really fast, they just go to settings, enable this 2x speed, and they can play on their pace.
Yeah. Where did you gather that feedback? That was before release? Did you put the game on itch.io or what?
Yeah. Actually, I put my first prototype on itch.io maybe 6 months before release. So also there is a very active and big community on Reddit about incremental games, about these clicker games, and I posted my prototype in this community, and I got a lot of feedback. But as I mentioned before, this feedback was mostly negative. So like my first post, my first prototype was downvoted so much.
Oh,
And
wow.
also I use, it was like, it was devastating at that time. But, as I already followed some Buddhist teachings, it wasn't like completely devastated. So I
Right.
was able to, yeah. So I was able to improve the game
Mm.
very much. So my first prototype was using AI, and I discovered that people, game developers and artists, most of them don't like AI. They actually hate it because AI is taking their jobs.
Mm.
And some of the people who played my early game, they didn't even play. They just saw AI assets and they just downvoted this game and hated this game, and
Mm.
it was like really really bad reaction. But at the same time, I posted same prototype at the Buddhist community also on Reddit,
Mm.
and it got upvoted. So that's where I got really motivated. So it's not gamers mostly in Buddhist community,
Mm.
but they provided me a perspective on how to relate to things like that. It's really important to stick to some core principles that I followed myself, and it's not that important to stick to the opinion of players who don't know what Buddhism is, or who don't even want to learn like mindfulness practices, or who game just for pleasure, for fun.
Mm.
So I really made this distinction, and I actually accepted that my game in these communities, that they just it just won't be praised or liked by many people. And still,
Yeah.
if I yeah yeah, and still if I look at reviews of my game on these clicker aggregators, clicker websites that host clicker games,
Mm.
it's generally has not good reviews, like 3 out of 5 or 7 out of 10.
Mm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
on Steam it's much better.
Interesting. It's I guess every game developer, um or maybe every creator goes through this where you have to find your audience, right? It's not you can't please everybody, and
Yeah.
that's the same for you. Um
You also experience it with your games?
oh yeah, yeah. um yeah, I'm thinking of the game that I'm doing right now, and it's just very historical, right? It's Historia Realis. It's focused on making history, uh, like, and yeah, some people just don't want that, right? Some people just want
Mm-hmm.
to, we want crazy history, we want some
Mm-hmm.
weird stuff happening, and that's just not what I'm going for. And you kind of have to accept that. Okay, there's an audience that wants um, real history. There's an audience that wants to play with history that's
Mm-hmm.
wackier, and it's just different things for different people, and that's how the way I look at it. And I some people, like, I think big companies would look at that and say, oh, well, the audience for this one is bigger, so we're going to go that way, right? We're gonna, because that's how we make more money. But I think that as individuals, or at least for me individually, it's more useful to look at, what do I really care about, and what audience resonates with what I want to say, and go
Yeah.
for that one, even if it's smaller, right?
Yeah. So you also making games not only about money, but about the art process itself, about the idea, about your values, right?
Sorry, what do you mean?
I mean, you're not too profit oriented for your games. I mean, you bring other values, like your personal interests,
Yeah,
like the values you follow in your life.
yeah, for sure. I wouldn't know how to be profit oriented. It's just not in my DNA. I've never really tried doing that, and it's just not very appealing to me.
Yeah. Actually, for me, it was really hard to switch from profit-oriented to idea-oriented because when I worked in labs, it's all about profit. It's all about profit. These businesses that I work into, it was like related to cryptocurrencies, to trading, to poker, like to poker games. So it was really so much profit-oriented, and it was quite a shift to switch from profit orientation to orientation on ideas and values. It's like not easy to go through. Even when I developed the game, in the mid of development, I still wanted to add some kind of predatory monetization, like ways for people to spend money. But then, as I moved on, I learned deeper the principles that I communicated in the game, and then I removed monetization completely and decided to make the game completely free.
Yeah, that was an interesting decision that I wanted to talk about. That the game is completely free, which is not very common. I guess there are some free games, right? But this is a I don't know. I see clicker games that are quite cheap sometimes. They're $3 on Steam, something like that. Well, what was that decision to make it completely free?
So actually, it came through a lot of contemplation and through lenses of how Buddhism sees this activity. So the book Buddha's Hammer that I read before, it was also completely free, but it was like 10 or even 15 years of work of several people to make it. Thai monks spent like many years on it, then translators spent many years on it, and they made this work completely free. And actually, it motivated me. I think sharing art for free is what makes what removes conflict of interest from the art itself. Because when people try to sell games, they need to adapt their games to sell well. They need to use some kind of marketing that can also be not good for the game itself, to represent the game in a way that will just make sales.
Yeah.
In my case, I wanted to remove this conflict of interest, so I decided in the end to make the game free and focus on player experience, and it allowed me to introduce like several speed modes. For example, in clicker games, you don't see that players can adjust game speed, because usually if you want the game to go faster, you should pay for it, like some microtransaction or some in-app purchase. But in my case, I just enabled all these quality of life features by default, so to make player experience unspoiled.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It sounds to me like you had some kind of inner shift in your view of the world, and there's also kind of reflected in the game you were making, right? That there was this shift in the game itself from a clicker game, with which you said could have had some predatory monetization, but you transform that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're completely right. I transformed the game in the process of personal transformation. So actually, it was all in unison. So it was it was happening in parallel. I was making a game and I was learning myself, and it was quite a journey, and still is. I still work on the game. I still add some features, and then I will add different languages, and then I will release it on mobiles.
Yeah.
So I'm still in this flow.
Yeah. But what was I'm curious now. What was the mechanic that would have had monetization for this game? Like, what would you be able to buy?
Oh yeah, actually, I already implemented it, and it's in the code in the game. But I disabled it in the end, and it's called time flow, when you can buy like premium currency and use it to speed up things in game. And this time flow mechanic would have been really predatory because it would have like unlimited spending amount. So usually the completion of the game takes 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. But there are players who want to complete the game here and now, and these players are players who make a lot of these predatory purchases. And if say a player wants to complete a game in a day, they might spend like $1,000, $2,000. So there are cases where players spending up to $10 or even more $1,000 on a single game. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So you potentially could have made a lot of money there with that mechanic, and you decided, well, I could, but this is going to harm the players, and so I'm just going to not include that in the game.
Right. Harm the players, and also it would be against the teachings which I tried to incorporate into the game.
So it wouldn't be in accordance with the theme or what the game is.
Yeah. That theme of the game, part of it is letting go, and this idle aspect in the game is sometimes requires players to not do an action, to abstain from action for some time. And if there was this predatory mechanic, like many players who couldn't control themselves well, would just spend like some money to skip this thing, this letting go thing, which is actually a core game concept.
I see. Yeah. Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
And this, you were talking about the feedback you were receiving. So this would have been after those 6 months of, when the game was on itch.io and you were still getting feedback. So after that, you added or removed this feature of monetization?
Oh, actually, this feature never got in the game. I just coded it here on my local computer, and I understood all implications just in time to never put it in the final product.
Yeah.
But actually, there is a hidden stone or hidden problem that I discovered only after releasing a free game on Steam. It turned out that Steam algorithms just don't promote free games because there is no incentive for Valve, parent Steam company, to promote free games. They don't make profit on it. So it was like a discovery that I had to make. And then I talked to some other developers, and they confirmed that there are better ways to release a free game, like release a paid game, and at the same time release the same game with almost same functionality, maybe with some additional, like very little, or maybe even cosmetic bonuses in paid game. So this way, you still will reach more players and keep the base game free.
Yeah, there are some strange things about how Steam works, and there's also the fact that they change it quite a lot. So, for example, there's demo pages now, which is a new thing where you can have your game and a demo page for your game, and the demo page kind of gets promoted together with the free games, and that's a new development from Steam, and they're always adapting, which I guess is kind of a good thing, that they look at how people are using Steam, and they try to make some improvements. But it's also it also keeps us as developers always having to learn how Steam is promoting games and doing things, and yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, that's right. And when Steam started to promoting these demo games, they now shadows genuine free games, like full free games. So now it's really difficult to get your game in trending if it's free.
Yeah,
It's really difficult to get this first push from Steam.
yeah, no, that's right. It used to be easier for free games when there were very few of them. But now that there's the demos as well, and it gets very hard for visibility of free games.
Yeah, actually, I think the most free games now is demos. It's like vast majority.
Yeah.
9 of 10 of free games is some kind of a demo.
Yeah. So, in getting back to your game, what were some of the other design decisions that you made, or do you remember having any moments where you had to really think through some kind of design challenge? It's like, how do I implement this aspect of Buddhism into the clicker genre, or maybe some other kind of challenge that you have? Do you remember any of these crucial moments in development?
Yeah, actually, these design challenges were mostly related to incorporating Buddhist teachings into the game mechanics. So it's where I had spend the most time designing the game, because it required a lot of creative thinking. But what helped me is that Buddhism is already a very structured teaching, and it has a lot of lists. For example, you maybe know Buddhism has the Eightfold Path, the Noble Eightfold Path. Yeah. So I just took these 8 steps of the path and just turned it into a skill system. And a skill system of the game has exactly the same steps that are named after these steps from the Noble Eightfold Path. And then another thing to incorporate was, which was quite easy actually, is a rebirth mechanic. So Buddhism already has the concept of karma and the concept of many lives. When we die here in this life, we go to the next life according to our karma. And in clicker games and incremental games, this reverse concept already existed before. And usually it means that you end current run of the game and start the game anew, but you receive some bonuses. So your run is now happens much faster. So this concept from Buddhism and clicker games, it already connected quite well.
Nice.
It was easy to implement. And another thing which was really challenging at first was visual representation, because I'm not a painter myself. I cannot draw like at all, almost completely. And I used artificial intelligence at first, but after I got this devastating feedback about AI, I just didn't know what to do. And I tried to find an artist and Google somewhere, read somewhere, and I had no success. But then I asked my Buddhist friend to maybe recommend me someone, and actually it turned out there was an artist in the same city, born in the same city where I was born, and also following some Buddhist teachings. And this artist also did watercolor painting, which I was looking for, this particular style.
Nice.
So I just sent my AI pictures, and they just asked, can you paint something similar from my descriptions or from my sketches? And the artist agreed. and we started working, and it was an amazing cooperation. So we worked together for maybe 7 or 8 months, and it was beautiful. It just saw talented artists, and they did all paintings very well. And when I showcase the game, I usually receive the most compliments about the art.
Yeah, it is very beautiful. Yeah, very unique, I guess. You don't see many watercolor games on Steam or in general.
Yeah.
You don't see much traditional art. It's usually digital. So that was very fitting
Right.
as well. I think the game has great art, and it's certainly a big step up from the AI art, which I'm not personally against. Like some people are like very vocally against AI use of any kind. I'm not that extreme, but I think that an artist can certainly add or create something that AI really cannot do. So, yeah, I think the art for the game looks really good.
Definitely. Thank you. And I also saw in your games that you use your own art, right? Do you make it yourself?
Yeah, I'm an artist as well.
Wow. I played File War, and I enjoyed the art very much. It gives this warm atmosphere, adds this warm atmosphere to the game. It was very nice to look
Thank
at.
you. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so you mentioned that Four Divine Abidings is out on Steam, but you still have plans to localize it to other languages and launch it on mobile as well. So those are the future plans for the game.
Right. I think first I will add some feedback which is requested by players. I already added some, but we'll add some more, incorporate some more feedback, and then I will proceed to localizing the game. I think in some regions, especially where Buddhism is popular, it will be very beneficial for players, because now the game has English only, and Buddhism isn't that popular in English-speaking countries. Like it's mostly in Asia.
Mm-hmm.
So localizing the game could bring a lot of new players, new attention, and that would be really helpful. And same goes for mobiles. I think most gaming now happens on mobiles. Not that many people play clicker games on Steam. Usually PC games go for much more complicated games where you need this bigger screen or nice video card, nice graphic card. But for clicker games, it's mostly phones. And I think the game already fits on the phone quite well. I played a browser version on my mobile, and it was pretty good. Still need some adjustments, like font increases, like maybe making bigger some images, but in general it already works well.
Nice.
And actually it's also one of the most requested features, port to mobile.
Yeah, that's great. And do you have any? You mentioned that you were having difficulties with visibility on Steam. Do you have a different plan for mobile? Is it also going to be free, or how do you plan to get attention and so on?
Yeah, that's good questions that I don't have answers yet for. I stick to my original idea to make the base game free, but maybe I will use some advices from other devs and release both two versions simultaneously, like the free version and the paid version with like some added cosmetics or some really small things, and see how this approach will perform. But in general, I will keep the base game free. That's for sure.
Okay.
And as for marketing and promotion, I really need to search for some new techniques here, because promoting a free game is like really hard. I also got feedback from players that many players just don't play free games. If they see free game, they think that it may be just a demo, unfinished product, or some predatory application that has a lot of in-app purchases. So
Yeah.
I'm still thinking how to promote this free version. What I didn't explore yet is cooperating with game content creators, like streamers, or like people who make walkthroughs of the game, or who make let's plays. I didn't try this feature yet, this area yet, and
Yeah.
I think I will explore it when the game is released on all platforms.
You're right. It is interesting how sometimes you can have an intention and it can be read completely different by people, right? So, for example, when you release the game for free, you have this intention of, oh, I'm making this really cool thing, and I want as many people as possible to access it. Like everybody can just download it and play it. Hey, it's free, it's awesome. And people are like, oh, this is a free game. It's probably not much effort was put into it, because otherwise they would be selling it. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing. And it's very interesting how our intentions don't necessarily translate to how people understand us, right?
Yeah, completely agree, and that's some of the lessons to learn in the process. You usually don't know these things beforehand. You need to experience them to understand.
Yeah, I also noticed that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I found the game through a Reddit ad. Were you running ads for the game?
Yeah, I tried running ads. I'm still actually running some smaller ads, but I see the conversion is really awful. I just keep it running. Like if I set up the ad to run on low values, so when there is no other ad to be shown, Reddit picks my ad to show, and it's still shown sometimes. But I found that it's not really effective.
Yeah, I mean, especially since the game is free, right? So I think there is a supporter DLC that you can get, right? But especially since the game is free, that conversion is going to be very, very small, because even the people who find the game through the ad, they're likely just going to play the free version and not be supporters, because that's just for super fans, right? So that makes the conversion even lower.
Yeah, and actually from the ad I linked to this free version, not to supporter version. And conversion is low. It's about 2% out of about 4,000 players on Steam. Only about 2% purchase supporter DLC.
Well, I'm still impressed by the number. Actually, that seems quite high to me. I wouldn't expect the supporter DLC to do a whole lot. So, I mean, because people they have the free game, right? They would only, at least in my interpretation, they would only purchase the supporter edition because they really love it and they want to support the developer. So that's a pretty high number. It sounds to me like you have some big fans that really like the game, and which is a great thing.
Yeah, which is really motivating, because I provide like really small things, like some small cosmetics and some more smaller things in supported DLC. And actually I wasn't able to make it to turn it in a pure donation, because Steam doesn't allow pure donations. I need to provide some value for players. Or in web version on itch.io, it's pure donation. There is nothing for those people who donate.
Right.
But in Steam, I just added some things to stick to the rules.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah. All right. I wanted to go back a little bit to, I guess, I never asked what kind of games you played. You mentioned that you played handheld games, but I don't think you mentioned which games those were. And what I'm trying to get at is what might be next for you in terms of other games. I know you're still working on Four Divine Abidings, and you're going to update that for a while. But I'm just wondering what other genres you like and what could be in the future for you in terms of other games.
Mm-hmm. The most of my life I played action RPGs, games like Diablo, Diablo 2, and even Diablo 3 I also played, Diablo 4, and turn-based strategies like Heroes of Might and Magic, starting from the first one, then second, then the third one, and other strategy games like Age of Empires and Age of Wonders, Civilization, and all these management and strategy games. Yeah, and in the very early age on handheld and on 8-bit and 16-bit consoles, I just play what was accessible to me. I lived in Russia and there were not many options. I just played what little games I had or what little games had my friends, and we just exchanged our cartridges.
Would those have been Russian games?
I don't think so. 8-bit and 16-bit games were already international, but in the very early childhood, there were some Russian handheld consoles that I think didn't even exist internationally, and they had Russian names, and they have some small games like Tetris or Snake or some really simple games.
Yeah, very cool. I think we have a similar taste in games. I played Diablo 2 quite a bit when I was a teenager. I also like strategy management kind of stuff, Age of Empires, Civilization. So yeah, that's very much to my liking.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you also play games yourself these days, or you mostly focused on development now?
I do play games. I think I have like two forms of playing, like two modes. One mode is when I'm trying to research games and look at what people are doing in one genre or another that I want to explore. For example, right now that is narrative games. So I have this my historical strategy game, but I also have the side projects with narrative, and so sometimes I'll play. So games I have played recently in that genre are Suzerain, Road Warden, Citizen Sleeper. Those games that are more focused on the story, the writing, and I kind of played those for work in a sense because I want to learn from other developers and see what they're doing. And I also have another playing mode, which is just playing for fun and to relax. Like, oh, I'm tired. I don't want to do any work. I don't want to think about work. I just want to enjoy myself for a bit. And for that, I will play Football Manager. Usually, that's my go-to relaxing game.
Wow.
It's kind of my idol game because you're mostly just watching there. Like, you put some players in some positions and you just watch the match. There's nothing you can do about it. I think there's maybe something Buddhist about that, where you're just looking at how things
let
unfold, and
go.
yeah, you let go of all control because
Yeah.
it's Football Manager. Whatever happens. You're not. It's not
Mhm.
like the FIFA games and stuff like that where you're actually controlling the players, right? You're just watching, and
Wow,
that really helps me relax. And yeah, I have this two modes basically.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
And actually,
Um.
this Latin run is also close to idol genre.
Oh yeah, yeah. It is. It is very close. Yeah. Um. How about you? You said that you're very focused on, or you were very focused for a year at least on development.
Mhm.
Have you changed that at all and started playing more, or are you still super focused? How's that?
Right after Steam release, I dedicated maybe one more week to hard working on the some feedback and some bug reports.
Hmm.
And just 3 days ago, I loaded my first game to play for enjoyment, and it was Journey. Do you know this game? It's
Yeah.
like classic, yeah. So it was the first time in a year that I played a computer game with such dedication and not thinking about my own development, and I enjoyed it quite a lot. And just today, I loaded another game called named Short Hike. And it's
Hmm.
also a relaxing game,
Yeah.
just to have some fun without competition, without distraction. It's really creative. It has beautiful art, nice music, and the gameplay loop is very relaxing.
Yeah. Yeah. I played that
Uh,
once.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Have you finished it?
Yeah, I did. I finished it in a weekend. It's a short game. It's a short hike.
Yeah. And you also played Journey?
Oh, Journey. No, I watched some YouTube videos.
It's so meditative. It's so
Mm.
relaxing and so contemplative. And I actually discovered philosophical meaning in this. It's also about letting go, and it's also about
Mm.
effort, and it's about the this light at the end of the tunnel. It was an amazing experience, and it's really short. You can finish it in a day.
Yeah. Nice. Is that something that you might do in the future? Do you think that kind of game?
I'm not sure, but I relate to your gaming mods that you mentioned,
Mm.
and um, I now see my future gaming as like gaming for work and gaming for discovery. I
Mm.
want to look for some motivation. I want to look for some ideas. I want to explore creations of other people and see how their creative energy and ideas are manifested in their games, and see like interesting things and see what I can learn from.
Mm.
I have some general ideas about my future game, which I definitely want to make, and I still want, for, at least for now, to stick some Buddhist principles to incorporate some more things from the Buddhist teachings into gameplay. Specifically, I'm exploring how I can incorporate three characteristics, like these core concepts in Buddhism, like that all life contains some elements of stress,
Mm.
and all things are impermanent, and all things are void of internal substance, so basically are composed of other things.
Mm.
So these three characteristics I'd like to show in a game, and probably it is the future topic of my game.
Interesting. Yeah.
And
So
actually,
go ahead.
uh-huh, yeah, let me go back a little bit and ask you about your meditation practice and your Buddhist practice as well, because as far as I talked with you before, you dedicated some serious time to these practices.
Yeah, I can talk about that. That's an interesting topic. I meditated for about 7 years, and I stopped. I haven't meditated. I don't know, in a couple of years, something like that. And I can, I don't know, share my experiences and my story with that. So I started meditating when I was about 24, maybe. And at that time, I had chronic back pain, and that was at least one of my motivations to meditate, because I had some idea that it could be useful or helpful. I'm not sure if I read that somewhere or if I arrived at that conclusion by myself. Something like, well, you see, for example, the monks. I don't know if those were Thai monks that self-immolated, like they burned themselves alive. And
No, this case.
Yeah, there are these very striking photos of this happening, and so there's clearly something about meditating and the ability to tolerate pain, right? Because they obviously felt the horrible pain and were able to keep going through that. And I guess that seemed like a superpower that would be useful to have. And at the same time, I was listening to Sam Harris, who I got in touch with through I guess atheism. Being an atheist and looking at atheist content. I found Sam Harris, and he eventually released a meditation app and started talking more about his meditation practice. And that was kind of my path into meditation. And yeah, I actually so quite early on, I think even before I started having a regular meditation practice, I had a very strong experience where I was just studying these concepts and trying to understand what Sam Harris was talking about in terms of what he called a spirituality without religion. And he pointed to a few books. One of those was by Nisargadatta Maharaj, who was not a Buddhist. He was of the Advaita Hindu tradition. He was an Indian guy. And yeah, I read that book, and it's sorry. I guess it had some similarities with the book you're talking about, even though I haven't read it. I just heard you talk about it, but there are like this descriptions of reality, right? Trying to make sense out of things. And one of the truths, let's say, that the book claimed was that the universe was loving in some sense. I'm sure it was worded differently, but that's how I remember it. And I did not believe that. Like the universe seemed to me like a pretty neutral place with good and bad things. So it did not make sense. And I talked to my mom one day about that, and I talked to her about this idea, and I said, "Hey, I read this in this Indian guy wrote this book and says that the universe is loving, and this makes no sense to me." And she said, "No, but I believe that. I think it's right." And I was like, "What? Really? How? I don't see it." And that night, I went to sleep, and I had the most amazing dream, which I think William James would call a mystical experience. It's hard to describe because one of the aspects of the mystical experience is that it's indescribable. But I kind of saw what he was talking about, right? The way that I would try to describe it is that there was nothing, and at the same time that there was nothing, there was I, but I was everything, and there was this infinite love around everything, and trying to put it into thought, it would be something like everything is love, and I am everything, and I am love, and it's very hard to put it into words, but I had this very, very strong experience, and I guess scientifically people can just say, "Oh well, you had a dream," and I'm sure they would be right in saying that, but it was still a very powerful and strong experience. I would say probably the most powerful experience of my life. I think it's also something that people have when they do psychedelics, right? Some people report this kind of experience on psychedelics as well. And well, after that, I still woke up next morning, and I was me, and everything was still normal, right? But I had this memory of this experience. And it was when I was reading this book, and it was when I was listening to Sam Harris talk about meditation and all of these insights. So I thought, I guess I better follow that path. There's something here. There's something for me to learn. So I just kept meditating from there. And I did a couple of meditation retreats with Tibetan monks or Tibetan Rinpoches.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just a weekend retreat, but no, I guess it was those guys are pretty high up in the hierarchy, I guess. Of the spiritual hierarchy of Tibetan Buddhism, and I got exactly what I was trying to get, in the sense that Sam Harris talked about this pointing out technique in Tibetan Buddhism, where you would have the guru point out to you the true nature of your mind, right? And this is what I sought, and this is what I got really from this two meditation masters, or whatever you want to call it. I got the pointing out technique from both, and this is a very sacred technique that you're not supposed to share, but I'm not a Tibetan Buddhist, so I don't mind sharing it. It was, I mean, it's a whole experience, right? But it was literally what was the name of the Rinpoches? It was Dzogchen Ponlop Rinpoche. So that was the first retreat that I did, and he read this sacred Tibetan text, and he would say, like, while you are meditating, you shout "pa." So you would like break our meditation with a loud noise, like "pa." And we did that. Like, we would meditate in inside the Buddhist temple, like a local Buddhist temple here in Brazil. And I was fortunate enough that Rinpoches came to Brazil. I guess it's a big population. They do come here, and I didn't get anything, honestly, out of the pointing out technique, and maybe I was doing something wrong, but you're supposed to recognize what they call rigpa, which is the nature of mind. And I guess what I got out of that first experience was a good joke, because after the retreat, people would line up to kind of get blessed and say goodbye to the Rinpoche, and I got in line, and people would make some kind of gesture and bow to them, and when I got to him and I said "Bah!" And I thought that was very funny, and he laughed too. That was a good joke, but I did not recognize the nature of mind truly in any meaningful sense. And the second experience, I guess, was similar, but without the joke. It was a different approach. It wasn't the same as Dzogchen Ponlop Rinpoche. This was Yongey Mingyur Rinpoche, who's the son of Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche. And Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche was the teacher of Sam Harris. So I was as close as you could get to the source of what Sam Harris was supposedly talking about, right? I can say that I was taught by the son of Sam Harris's teacher, and this son, Yongey Mingyur Rinpoche, learned directly from Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche. And it was like, it sounds cool, but I don't think like, maybe I'm wrong. Like, maybe I have I got some mystical, unexplainable understanding that I can't even see from these guys. But honestly, I don't think so. But what I can tell is that I gave it my best effort to try to understand what was going on. The truth claims that that I got at the beginning of the path, where I had this powerful experience, and I thought, well, maybe there's some way for me to integrate this powerful experience that I had in a dream, right? Maybe through meditation or through some understanding, I can get something, I can be something. And I had eventually, I just had to give up, because I don't see how, right? I learned a lot along the way, for sure, but yeah, eventually I kind of let go of the path, and I just decided to live my life normally and do the things I want, make games, play games, or just live normally, enjoy life, and kind of know that I had that experience, but I honestly don't know if there's something to do with that, or I just kind of let go of that, and I'm just living life. So that was a long story, but that's the whole story.
It's really interesting. It's quite a journey you had. So you meditated for several years, and then you just didn't see any practical benefits, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, so it's quite understandable. On the my path, I continue meditating because I see practical benefits all the way. If I didn't see progress for a year or two, I think I also would quit.
Yeah, I mean, I also just want to say that I'm not against meditation or against Buddhism or anything like that, right? I was fully into meditation for 7 years, and um, I don't think I was fully into Buddhist philosophy in the same sense that you were, but I was looking at it quite seriously. Um, Maybe I don't have the same technical understanding, I guess, but yeah, I think that if whatever people want to do, if they want to meditate, if they want to learn more about Buddhist philosophy or whatever kind of philosophy, as far as I'm concerned, they are free to do that, and I really don't have um, I don't have a say on what people do and what people don't do, but that was my experience to the extent that I can relate it as honestly as I can at this moment. Now, maybe at some point I will look at things differently, but that's how I see it now.
Yeah. Everyone has their own path.
Yeah, yeah. That was a that was a long story. Um, Let me look if there were some things that I wanted to also approach with you. Oh, I have one question, but it would change the subject quite a lot. Would that be okay, or is there still something you want to talk about in this subject?
Yeah, sure. Let's go on.
Okay. So you mentioned that in this year that you were working on Four Divine Abidings, you were working very intensely on it, right? That I can't see myself doing that for a whole year. That in the way that it seemed that you described it. Um, I'm just wondering, how do you do that? How can you focus for an entire year? Like, I can do that maybe for a week, 2 weeks, and then I need to like relax a little bit and take my mind off of the project. How do you stay so focused on the project for a whole year?
That's a really good question. So actually, I don't have a complete answer to it because it was also some kind of a mystical experience for me.
Mm.
And this flow state, I just entered it and I stayed in it for a month in a row. Then maybe take a day or two of some kind of a break. And then again, just started working and again got into this flow state. And it, the things just were really felt really natural and easy, and I just didn't want to do anything else. Just no entertainment, like no news, no games. I was thinking only about mostly about the game, how
Mm.
to implement some things, how to improve, how to learn, how to get feedback, how to release on Twitch, how to release on Steam, how to make a Discord channel, and how to communicate with players. And it just became the contents of my mind, and there
Mm.
were not any other things to think about during this period. And all the process also got supported by daily meditation practice. So I didn't skip a day
Mm.
in maybe 3 years already. And this stable practice brings the stability of mind as well, in my personal experience. So every morning I start with meditation, and I usually meditate 30 minutes in the morning. And during this time, the mind already gets into this flow state. And when I finish meditation, I just feel very natural to start working on the game. And I can work 4-5 hours straight after breakfast until the lunch. And after lunch, again 4-5 hours straight until the dinner. And I just didn't notice time. It just passed by days after days, weeks after weeks, and I'm still amazed that I did my first commit of code almost exactly 1 year ago. It was on the 1st of, and now it's 26th of July, so it's five days, and it will be the whole year. I'm myself completely amazed how the time went by. So it was and still is a kind of mystical experience for me that I can't explain completely, and I'm not even sure if I can replicate it myself.
Yeah, interesting. So it wasn't like this with your startup projects or other things. You didn't get into this constant flow state.
Yeah, it was really different because during my business years, during the startup years, time was actually stressful. And when I had an opportunity not to work, I would gladly take it and go to have some fun, relax, and just do some other things, because work was really stressful and demanding. And I just didn't get that flow state. So it was like constant effort, and I can say even a constant struggle to keep up with things, to not fall behind with plans and with projects. But when working on Four Divine Abidings, it was completely different experience. So actually, I felt less stressful when working on the game compared to the time when I wasn't working on the game. So it's just my natural refugee, my natural place to go. Even when I wasn't working on the game, like doing some sport exercises, I usually already imagined how I finished these exercises and go back and work on the game.
Yeah.
So it was a natural flow.
That's great. Yeah, I think that's the dream development experience, right? You're just fully enjoying it all the time. Yeah, it sounds like a dream. Sounds absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's completely amazing experience, and at times I even believe that the game discovered itself. Not I was creating the game, but the game discovered itself, and I was just a medium who made some mechanical work, And I also had a lot of mystical dreams during this period, and all this was really motivating. And I can relate to this cosmic love thing that you told in your story, because many of my dreams were also representing some kind of unity, some kind of cosmic love, or some kind of this creative energy. I often heard music in my dreams. I often saw beautiful visuals. Again, it's really hard to explain, but it was like really motivating, and it supported this flow state. And another missed experience that was happening, especially in the last month of development, I just stopped using alarm on my phone, and I just every morning I just exactly woke up exactly the same time. It was between like 4 and 4:30 in the morning. No alarm, no noise. I just wake up at the same time, and I wake up. I know what's the time. I even stopped looking at the phone. I just know that it's time to go start working on the game. Of the meditation.
So you don't even need to, I guess, it sounds like you don't need to control too much, right? So like putting on an alarm or something like that. It just happens naturally and you can just go with the flow.
Yeah, the whole experience turned into effortless flow, right?
Mm. Yeah, that's very nice. All right. And yeah, I can see how you probably got completely hooked by game dev with this experience. And you're probably going to keep making games after this, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the best years of my life, or maybe the best year of my life. So I want to stick to this experience. And at least that, as my current understanding goes, I don't see like a better opportunity for me
Yeah.
but to making games.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Um, I look forward to seeing the progress on Four Divine Abidings, and I look forward to seeing what you make next.
Yeah, I also look forward to it actually.
Nice. All right. So we'll end this here. Thank you so much, Vladlen, for um, this conversation. I learned a lot, and I was able to also share my experience a little bit with you, and I'm grateful for both of those things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lucas. It was a wonderful experience, and thank you for inviting me for your podcast. I'm really grateful it happened. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.